how to live the life of your dreams. That's what we all want to know, and I have the answer, and I can tell you how you do it. You become your authentic self. And you may say, well, I don't know what that is. Well, I'm telling you, I do know what that is, and it's within you. And if you were to take that journey, you would live the best life you ever wanted to have. And I know that's true. And I will know how you suffer when you don't do that, because I've done that as well in my life, because I wasn't willing to take those steps into embracing my authentic self. See, that's something that grows as you live your life. Sometimes we don't know what our authentic self is. And then as we live, we could turn out to be something completely different than what we ever imagined. And that's exactly what happened for me. I've had many, many careers in my life, many different vocations. I was all over the place. And I've had many failures, many successes, and all of that. But the other thing that happened is that I figured out what was wrong. What was wrong was that I wasn't willing to embrace who I was. And I see that with everyone else. I've coached for more than 35 years. So I've worked with so many people, thousands of people. So I do know. And the only reason that you're not living the life of your dreams is that you do not want to own who you are, and you're not willing to look at yourself. That's all. And I've done every kind of program of personal development and, self-actualization. I've done spiritual things. I've done all of those. But the one thing that I couldn't do was the one thing that would give any person the life they want to have, an extraordinary life, and that is accept who they are, become their authentic self. Now, we will have trauma. We born into the world with trauma, generational trauma, typically, where we don't believe things, we don't understand how to get somewhere. But then we've learned over time, well, oh, that was just programming, and it was your neuroscience. It was just in your brain. That's all that it is. But see, something else that I discovered. I was a prophet. I didn't know that was happening in my life. I didn't know that's what I was developing. I knew I was intuitive. I've always known I could look at people and understand who they were. But it went further than that. I had been collecting information for 35 years. That's mindset, that's self-actualization, that's personal development, and also ascension, because I believe that everyone has this path, this blueprint within them that they could follow. And when they follow that, they live this extraordinary life. And the only reason you won't do it is because you don't want to. Now, I'm saying that because there's no barriers in there. I've created this program that will take you to exactly where you're supposed to be. Anyone can afford it. Absolutely any person, because there are several different options. Even by the month, if you want to pay for it by the month, you can do that. So every single person can afford it, but you may not want to, because what it does is it has you really examine who you are and figure out the genius that is within you. So I know everyone has that. When I do a channeling session, I'm accessing different information. When I've been writing all of this information for years, I've been accessing cosmic guidance. That's why my program works. And people ask, what makes your program different? It's because it's connecting you to your authentic self, your soul mission. That's what I believe everyone has. Everyone's not going to follow that because you don't want to move through the restrictions and limitations that you've been living with. And I can say that because I've done it for so long. I'm 73 years old. A couple of years ago, I wouldn't have even told you I was a prophet. I had to figure out what had happened. If you go to my website, you will see that a couple of years ago, I said, I downloaded a philosophy. Most people wouldn't have seen it or read it or believed it even. I'm telling you it happened because what went on, I healed. I experienced so much mind, body healing from things that people thought were impossible. I know nothing is impossible. So what I'm doing now is I haven't finished all the work, though. I started a few years ago, and then I saw the results, and you'll hear the results. People said this just changed my life. I've never done anything like this. They couldn't have because I created it. I had to live my life downloading all of this information, and that's why it works. And so now what I'm doing is I'm taking it bigger because I have to. I'm going to be exposed to thousands of people in a couple of months, and by the end of the year, probably 1 million. And so they're going to want this information because I'm telling them, I'm telling everyone that you can live this extraordinary life. You can have everything you want. All you have to do is work through your resistance, your barriers to having it. That's all. And anyone can afford it. And you'll look at that and you'll think, no, I'm going to choose to keep struggling. I'm going to keep doing what I'm doing. I'm not going to change. I can say that one as well because I've done it. You see, so I do understand. So what I'm doing now is I'm just taking about 5 more people into my program now because when you come in, I'm going to have an hour talk with you. And in that talk, I'm going to tell you exactly who you are and what you're going to work on and what you're going to develop. And you're going to feel so aligned and so aware of who you are. And so then when you're going through the work, you're going to see every single day, you're going to open up to more of who you are. You're going to start to love yourself. You're going to start to develop the relationships you want to have. You're going to start to move through all the old trauma. You're going to start to forgive yourself. All of those things are happening. Again, I can say this because this is the process and I've moved through it. And as you listen to some of the testimonials, you'll hear that they said that as well. But again, what you're going to see on the page is not everything that's there. I want you to know your life purpose. I want you to know where you're going to be moving into your life, how you're going to sustain or create a career for yourself, how you're going to have the right relationships, how you can attract them or have them or correct the ones you have. I have all of that information, and that's what's going into this work. So you have to look at yourself and ask, do I really want to be happy? Do I really want to have this extraordinary life? Because I'm saying that you can have it, and I know that. And the only reason that you won't do it is because you don't want to. Sometimes it becomes really scary for us to take those steps into that next version of who we're meant to become, because that's ongoing as long as we live. And so you have that. But I'm telling you right now, you have this opportunity. I'm presenting it to you. And no one has ever proven me wrong on this, by the way. No one has ever proven me wrong, because anyone who does it, they change and they find the life, and then they are living the way that it was intended for them and probably for you. But the only thing that I'm doing now is I have to focus on creating all of this, getting it more and more done, because I'm going to be exposed globally in just a few months. But that's how valuable I know this is. I put something out just a while ago, and I said I could be a billionaire and transform the world, because I realized a few years ago that what I had developed was that incredibly valuable. I knew that, but I had to come to accept it. So I was holding back as well, just probably as you have in your life. Everything that you need, want, everything that could cause you to live this extraordinary life is within you. The only thing that happens is that you have to move through the barriers. This is why we use personal development. This is why we use neuroscience, cognitive behavior training, all of those things to break through the limitations. And once you do that, miraculous things have happened. I'm going to start I'm working on a book, but I'm going to also do something else for others, because I'm going to really talk about the mind-body healing, because I've done so much of that with this work. And I know that it came through this work. So I couldn't have done it on my own. Doctors couldn't have even explained what I've done. But I know that you could do that as well. Because all I do is give this information to you, and then you run with it and create something brilliant. That's what we're all meant to do in our lives, is to come, grab information, create something brilliant. And that's what I'm doing. So check out the work. Also, I'm having a channeling session this Friday. You can attend that. I'm also offering private Wilhelm channeling sessions if you'd like to have that, because I can then, in that instance, answer any of your questions about your life and going a lot deeper than this. But the opportunity for you to have that extraordinary life is before you, and you just have to decide if you want it. And I love being able to say that now, because I could never do it before, because I always have to prove, I have to know that what I'm going to say to someone is accurate. And I have to know that it works. And you can hear, again, the testimonials, but still, those were a couple of years ago. I have so much more now. But you have the opportunity to live your extraordinary life. All right, see you soon.